Hey, how's it going? Today I'm going to be talking about the minor pentatonic scale. Really more than trying to teach you anything about the minor pentatonic scale, or rather than try to teach you a lot about it, uh, I'm mostly interested in driving home the point that it's something you want to know. You know, if you're the kind of person who's hoping to one day be a shredder or just improvise over a rock song or make up solo. Basically, if you're interested in soloing in a rock or blues or jazz or country and western kind of setting, then you want to know the minor pentatonic scale. It's in a lot of cases the only scale that's used in a lot of rock and blues and so forth solos. And even when other scales are used, the minor pentatonic scale is still the skeletal framework of all those scales, or most of them. If you know the minor pentatonic scale, you basically know the skeletal framework of a lot of modal scales and a lot of other more advanced or more kind of nuanced sounding scales. But we're going to start with the minor pentatonic scale, and like I said, I'm not really going to give you a lot of information about it. I'm just going to sort of show you what it is, or show you one particular form of the minor pentatonic scale, and then I'm going to, in the description, be adding some helpful links. But really, I encourage you just to Google it. There's so much information already out there and on the internet and in a lot of books and magazines about it. And I'll give you some of my own takes on it, but I encourage you just to be resourceful and go out and look for it. I discovered the minor pentatonic scale actually through when I started learning how to solo, or started getting interested in learning how to solo. I listened to a lot of ZZ Top records, and I tried to figure out Billy Gibbons solos by ear, because to me it seemed like a good idea, because his solos are usually very sparse, they're very catchy, very hooky, but they're also really repetitive, and usually he doesn't use a whole lot of notes. So I thought, this is great. I can kind of get a good ear training here, because I'm not going to have to transcribe a bunch of really fast, 30-second notes or anything like that. And they're very melodic, very catchy, and that's something that made it even more useful for me. So while I was doing that, I kind of started to discover that there were these patterns, these shapes on the neck that seemed to always work. And then after I discovered those shapes, I started trying to sort of make up my own stuff. I'd listen to the records, and then when Billy Gibbons solo came in, I would just start kind of making up my own solo. And I remembered those shapes, and it really became something I really got intensely focused on remembering them. And then later on, in I think it was a Guitar World magazine, I saw some article about the minor pentatonic boxes, and I saw these graphic representations that were my ZZ Top patterns. I'm like, oh, so that's what those things are called. So it just goes to show that there's a name for everything. Music theory exists even when you're not trying to use it. I didn't realize that I was playing scales, but I was, and it was once I realized that. I could have gone on forever not knowing that, and not caring about it. But once I realized what they were and what they were called and how other people had used them, then it just opened up a whole lot of other possibilities that either wouldn't have been available to me, or would have been available, but I would have had to do a lot of legwork and a lot of wasted a lot of time. So it's good to use whatever information you come across. I'm gonna go ahead and move this camera down here now so you can see my guitar neck. Let's see here. Where's that going to work? All right. Excellent. So you get a good visual of the neck here. Let me maybe get this a little bit more 3D. The minor pentatonic scale is right here, or the one I'm going to show you, the version I'm going to show you, is in the key of A, and it's in the 5th position. This right here is the 5th fret. You can see the dot right there. Most of you who have electric guitars, this is going to be the 2nd dot on your guitar. And then the scale basically goes 5, 8, 5, 8. Looking at the screen, it's backwards from what I'm 5 8 5 8. I'm sorry, start over again. 5 8 5 7 5 7 5 7 5 8 5 8, and then coming down 8 5 B string 8 5 7 5 7 5 7 5 8 5. And if you want to know what those notes are, they're A, C, D, E, G, Then it starts all over again. A, C, D, E, G, and then there's another A and another C. So there's only 5 notes in that scale, hence the name minor pentatonic. You might want to go ahead and pause your, where are we here? Still, everything's the opposite of what I'm expecting. Go ahead and pause your screen right here if you want to get a good look at a graphic representation of it. This is the A minor pentatonic box 1 pattern written out on a graphic kind of representation. Down here at the bottom is the low E string. You see how the strings are kind of thick. Then we have the G and the B and the high E string. The root notes are circled, and you'll notice that there's these little arrows, kind of little scooped up arrows. Those are bending notes. Those are notes that you could bend and get a lot of mileage out of if you want to. And then also, I'm going to another way. Slide this way up so you can see. There it is again. Oh. There it is again in the 17th position, way up in the 17th fret, or as I like to think of it, the mini 5th fret. The dots that happen above the 12th fret are pretty much just like the dots, they're equivalent down by the nut. So the 17th fret's really the mini 5th fret. So you see that's exactly the same pattern, that 1 4 1 3 1 3 1 3 1 4 1 4 pattern that we had way down here. See, same. So if you're the kind of person who does well with pattern and shape recognition, the guitar is really right up your alley, because guitar is all about patterns and shapes. And if you're not, well, then this will help you to develop those skills. All right, so now that I've shown you the scale, I mean, you can, I would advise just playing up and down it a few times, ascending and descending. Start out slowly and then build up speed and try to, alternate pick. I'm going to move over here so you can see I'm going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. That's the nice thing about this scale, is there's only 2 notes in every string, so it works really well. Just going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. All right, so maybe by now you're thinking, well, that's great, thank you for all of that, but really, what am I going to do with that? Well, let me go ahead and play. There's a jam track here that I found on a website. I'm embarrassed to say I can't remember the name of the website, but I will definitely look it up and put it in the comments section, or in the description down below. But it's called Crossroads Style Blues by a guy named Alan Ruffley. And it's very much, like the original Cream version of Crossroads. It's the same key. So, here's the 5th position again, right down here. Now I'm just going to take a few notes up here. Maybe notice all the bending I was doing. See, I could bend these notes. And this one too. Now I'm going to go way up to the mini box 1. So, same exact pattern. Just like I had down here. Okay, so I'm not going to bore you by noodling more all day. I just made all that up. I wasn't even thinking about it. It was really just sort of playing with it, and that's kind of the idea. You want to play. I'm just going to hold this. I'm almost done anyway. You want to play with it like you would a toy. At first, like a child would play with a toy. You get used to this form and just kind of have fun with it. Don't think about, am I playing the right notes or the wrong notes? That's the beautiful thing about it. There are no wrong notes. You can't play a wrong note as long as you're in the key of the right key, and that's the other thing I was going to point out too. Oh, dropped a pig. If you're in the key of A, like I was in the key of the 5th fret, gosh, getting used to this. There's the key of A. Let's say I want to play in the key of B flat. Instant transposition. Now I'm in B. Now I'm in C. And that's the thing. You learn one pattern or one shape, and you can just move it up and down the fretboard, and you're in a whole different key. So, learn it, Google it, try to apply it to songs that you already know, or get jam tracks. There's that website that I'm going to put in the description down below is going to have lots of jam tracks in different keys. So have some fun with it, and remember, it's not just for people who are quote unquote musicians. It's for everybody. It's your scale. It's like learning a language. You learn the form, and it becomes yours. It becomes yours to do with as you will. It's like if I learn a language, the words that I might use might be different from the words somebody else might use, or they might be the same. I might say exactly the same thing, same words, but I might, I'd have a different phrasing and different vocal inflection, different stress and all that kind of stuff. It's the same thing with music. So once you learn a scale, you're basically learning part of that language, and it's not for it's for you. It's for you to play with and have fun with, and use to be creative and all that other good stuff. So until next time.